Favor. This is one more, please. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Otra Por Favor. And usually, every guest that comes, they always say Otra Por Favor in whichever way they want to say it. There you go. How you doing today?
Okay.
You did great.
Otra Por Favor.
Nice.
Okay.
How was your day today, Paxton?
It was good.
You know, I feel weird because, if you see something different, it's because we actually had a technical difficulty. So we were able to resolve it based on some testings that we've done in the past. So it'll be okay. If the sound doesn't sound the same as it usually does, that's because, you know what, it's life. It'll be okay. But we got to figure it out. But enough about, the sound and everything. Today, I have the honor. Actually, let me have you respond to the question I asked you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm chilling out with you. I'm on Otra Por Favor. So I'm feeling pretty happy.
Oh man, I'm pretty happy as well. And thank you for reaching out to me. We actually got to meet after my friend Rigo, wherever you're at, besote. We were celebrating his birthday, and then we met at Hotel Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I was usually, whenever I'm out, sometimes I'm a little too happy, so I slur a lot and make up a lot of jokes or a lot of stories, which are actually real, but I add a little more to it. And then we were talking, and then I think we talked about the podcast, and you were talking about I'm gonna release a song, and I'm like, well, shit, like send it to me, and then you did send it to me, and then we're here.
Yep.
How often do you say like you go to Hotel Vegas, or it's one of those places where you have in your rotation every time you go out?
That was my first time ever at Hotel Vegas. I don't go that often, just when Adrian invites me out. To be honest,
we got to meet through Adrian Activo, which is another friend of the podcast. Whatever he's at, Wells. No, but it's cool because one is we got to meet through friends, and I think those connections always help, especially when we do stuff like this. And then two, we met having fun.
Yeah.
So that's the best part about it too.
Yeah.
But so today we have Paxton Smith. She is a singer, songwriter. She's done a couple of songs, but she will be releasing a single this weekend.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna talk more about later. And before we go into everything that has to do with your single, we want to first hear about your story. Want to hear about you and want to hear about your background, because I think for us, before we talk about the craft, the person is important. So we're gonna be doing that, and probably the first question I have for you is, where are you originally from, and how was your childhood, and how did that shape the person you are today?
Okay, big question. Well, I'm from Dallas, Texas, born and raised.
Sorry to hear about that.
Oh, what? I don't even know what to say. Honestly, Dallas is kind of boring, so I get it. But what the heck? Anyways, born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I come from a biracial family, so I'm in the Latin space all the time, very much so, like home for me. Let's see, I always loved doing music. I always loved singing, and I was really shy as a kid, and I would hide under a table and like sing to myself. And then I always wanted to do it more and more. And so I grew up my whole life wanting to have a music career. But then, let's see. Oh my gosh, that's like a huge question. Let's see. Let me backtrack a second.
Do it.
My dad always raised me to have really good morals, and he would always tell me like, always do the right thing, even when it sucks. And so he always said that growing up. And then when I was 18, I was graduating high school, right? And Texas had just passed like the 6-week abortion ban. And so I actually gave a speech about that at my high school graduation. And it launched me into like this long time doing activism for like a year and a half. And the first song of the EP, which we're going to talk about, is actually about the imposter syndrome that I felt as an activist. But this like music career that I'm like launching really like now is right now all about like my coming of age and growing up. So
That's you did activism for a year and a half.
yeah, roughly.
How was that like? What was something that you probably got to learn from that aspect?
Let's see. What was it like? I mean, it's weird because I feel like I've almost forgotten a lot of it. Like, it almost feels like it was somebody else's life that happened, and I just kind of watched it from the outside. I don't really know. It was very sudden that I did the activism. Like I said, I gave that speech, but that speech went viral and it was trending 9th in the world on Twitter. And I got like a book deal like the same week. And I was going on like CNN and I was getting contacted to like travel and like talk about abortion in all these spaces. It was just very fast. And it was very much so like, I'm going to do the best that I can, but still protect myself. What did I learn?
A lot of publicity.
I learned a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I learned a lot more about abortion care and like why it matters so much and the reality of what goes on behind closed doors. Like I've heard a lot of stories that people don't hear, and I want them to hear them, but at the same time, for their hearts, I don't want them to hear them.
It's like at a young age you're doing activism. I think I'm not gonna ask you your age, but I'm just gonna like assume. And sorry for assuming, but I feel like this new generation cares a lot about what's going on in the world, what's going on with people's lives. And when I grew up, a lot of it was just like, hey, dude, like graduate, go to school, go to work. Every now and then care about people, but that was the main goal. But I think this new generation it's really about, hey, I see someone underrepresented, or I see someone getting harmed. Like, how can I be active to help them, lift them up? Especially in tough subjects like abortion. But going into that aspect, and you're writing a book, what was the name of the book, and like how many pages was it? What was it about? If you can dive a little bit more into that part.
Sure. My book is called A War on My Body, A War on My Rights. It's a quote from my speech that went viral. The book was supposed to be, it is. It's an anthology on abortion, and the goal of it was to share the very intimate stories and the very various stories from person to person as to like their experience with abortion care, why they got it, why they felt they needed it, or why they never got one but still care about abortion care. At the end of the day, like what ended up happening with the book was not something that I was happy with. When I got the book deal when I was 18. I was young and I didn't have a lawyer, and I signed away my creative rights, and the publisher put some stuff in the book that I'm not comfortable with, and that I had informed them I wasn't comfortable with, so I don't really promote the book. But if you want to buy it, all of the profits, all of them, go to the Afia Center, which is a nonprofit that addresses like the disparity in access and quality of reproductive health care for Black Americans in Texas. So, but I don't like the book.
I have a friend who he's a photographer and in Mexico, and this is a little more off the outline part, but he's talking about he did a book about photography, and it's called A Decade of Comedy in Mexico, which is when stand-up comedy started in Mexico all the way up to 2021. So he has documented hundreds and thousands of pictures and put the best ones in the book. But he said, I'm not gonna use a publisher, I'm not gonna use anyone, I'm gonna do it all by myself. Of course, he hasn't released it yet because it's expensive. But he's like, I want it to be as the most raw version of itself, how I lived it. And I'm like, dude, that's pretty cool, because when it comes out and I have it here, like it's gonna tell a lot of the stories that I get to hear in the radio, I got to hear on TV. But I'm pretty sure probably the book didn't have stuff that you wanted it, but at the end of the day, I think like it could have also helped some people, and that's the main goal at the end. But I'm sorry about the publishing part. So going into activism, into writing the book. By the way, She just graduated this weekend, so congratulations.
Thank you.
How was your introduction to music? When did you decide, you know what, now I want to do music? Because you've done several good things. I mean, in life, at 18, I don't know what I was doing, but you've done activism, writing books, and you're about to release a single, and you graduated from college. When did you first started getting into music? What sparked an interest, or who's the person that influenced you to do your own music?
Oh gosh. Okay. I always loved music, kind of like I talked about earlier. And I started writing songs when I was like 8. And then I did choir on and off for years. I played trumpet. I marched drum corps. I was always super into music. And then when I turned 18, I was about to go to college and I was looking at my future. That's what you do when you're 18. You're like, oh God, what am I going to do? And I was like, oh my God, like I kind of gave up on my dreams of being a musician before I even started. Like I didn't apply to college as a music student. I applied as business and bio. And I was not okay with the fact that I had given up on my dreams before I tried. So at 18, that's when I decided I want to do music. Then I went into doing activism for a bit, and then like my sophomore or junior year of college, I was like, okay, time to lock in, time to learn what the heck is going on and get this going. Yeah. So, yeah.
And you graduated in marketing. Correct?
Advertising.
What's the difference between those two?
Great question. Marketing, according to the UT School of McCombs, is more holistic than advertising. Mm-hmm. It's deciding the product, price, where you're going to put it, and then working out that supply chain, like really producing the whole thing. And then advertisers talk to the marketers, and the marketers are like, here's who we want to advertise to, and here's kind of what we want to say. And then the advertisers just go, okay, we can do that. And we make like little ads and posters and audios and stuff.
So we're, maybe we see you, maybe not, your work out there, but music is what you want to do at the moment. Mm-hmm. Who was your favorite artist when you grew up, or artists, or genre of music?
Yeah, okay. Growing up, Taylor Swift was my idol. Now she's not. Sammy Ray and the Friends. I love them. I adore them. It's like a pop, jazz, funk band. And then Upsahl. I adore Upsahl. I've been a fan of hers for ages.
Upsahl. Who was the second artist?
Sammy Ray and the Friends.
Sammy Ray and the Friends. I haven't heard of it.
They're awesome.
Yeah. Are they like, is it someone that you would listen to or hear in the top 40 radio?
No.
Or more like alternative?
I wouldn't say they're alternative. They probably have like...
Sorry, like alternative, more like indie.
More indie. They have like 300,000, 500,000 monthly listeners. Okay. But I feel like they have diehard fans. For the amount of listeners they have, like everybody's locked in. Like, the music is so good. Yeah. Any
particular song you would recommend from them?
Talk It Up.
Talk It Up?
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out. The thing is, whenever I say I'm gonna check it out, I am gonna check it out, because I got in this idea of learning new music, because for a while I got just into listening to like Spanish, regional mexicano, corridos and corridos tumbados, but I sort of forgot to hey, there's more music out there to explore. So this year I've gotten to learn more music, and actually, through people that come and talk here. But whenever I I'm gonna listen to the music, especially when I'm working my 9-to-5 job. Every now and then, listening to something new is like, it's refreshing.
Oh yeah.
So, and gives me a chance to expand my horizon in music. So, so going into doing your own music, what was the first? Do you play instruments, or do you sing? What's your forte when it's related to music?
I'm a producer.
Okay.
I produce music. That's probably my biggest strength. But I grew up playing trumpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the trumpet, do you still play it, or no?
No. but it taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned like music theory and stuff, and I did jazz, so I felt like playing trumpet gave me a huge foundation as a producer to be able to make music that I hear in my head.
Okay. Like, so in guitar, you sometimes learn how to play by ear.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same with trumpets, or is it different?
In the school system I grew up in, you learned by sheet music.
Okay.
And then once I started getting into jazz, you start like transcribing solos by ear. So you'll listen to something and then you'll just play it out, and you won't have sheet music. That was way more helpful though for like learning music in general, is being able to hear something and replicate it.
Replicate it and also transpose it
Yeah.
to different keys.
Oh yeah, to different keys,
Yeah.
that too. I mean, I don't use that much as a producer. I just go transpose. It does all the
It
work
does it
for me.
Nice. But learning the music part, I think it from music sheets, I don't know much about it, but I do know like once you learn it, you would get to experience or see music in a whole different level, because you're gonna be able to see the notes that are playing, like actually seeing in a sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Because like say when I strive at one point, I was thinking I was gonna be a guitarist, and that's why I have my tattoo. I play with the key, like based on keys like G, A, C, that, and then learn how to transpose. But you see the note in the song, in the lyric, but I never saw a sheet, or never knew how to read a music sheet. Is that what you call it?
Sheet music,
Sheet
yeah.
music, there you go. But one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look at YouTube and see what's it about, like why? Because I like say it's funny, because when I notice in a concert, you see guitarists, or you see bands not looking at sheet music. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever you go to an opera, you go to
everybody has sheet music.
Everybody
Yeah.
has sheet music. So then I'm like, okay, there's something about it, like maybe the science behind it, the art about it, that having the sheet music helps you stay on track of, okay, not to be like stick to the program.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like say, for example, whenever you were doing music production, having a sheet help you have a structure, like, okay, like let's stick to this, let's get this first like song or rhythm done correctly, and then we can alter it the way you want it? Or how was that for you?
For me, growing up strictly on sheet music was actually an inhibitor for me when I started becoming creative, because like I grew up in classical music, and the reason they all have the sheet music is because classical music, everybody plays the same pieces, and whoever can do it the most consistently in that exact way that it was designed to be played, it will usually get the part that they are auditioning for. And so like the goal is that you play it exactly as it is.
Okay.
Which is like why the sheet music exists. And they tell you everything. They tell you like what beats to accent and put your energy into, and when to get louder and when to get quieter. And like I spent my whole life like being told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so learning to just be creative for the first time, like when I was making my own music,
yeah.
it was really hard, because I had never had that chance in music really before. So I don't use sheet music. It's the long short of things. Like the more free, the less rules I can have, the better, and then I'll just kind of noodle wherever I go.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the production part, because I've never done or produced music. The only production I've done is here. But what's the science behind it, or the art behind it? You first, when you're producing a song, right? Do you get like, say you're working with a band of 5 pieces, you have everyone play that song and then you put it together, or you put it together once everybody plays, or how, or you do more like beats, or how's your line of work or your workflow?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't have any acoustic instruments at all in my music.
Okay.
So I don't actually record instrumentalists. I usually sit alone, or sometimes I'm with a collaborator, and I just kind of find sounds that I like in this new EP, like there's like a sound of chips crunching, and I use it to kind of accentuate the snare drum and give it its own tone. So I do like a lot of sound design, like I create the instruments, and then I just put them on the page, not the page, the DAW.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
your music sheet.
I'm,
Yeah. So it all started with the sound of a bag of chips.
a bag of chips.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then from that you started to just
Yeah. Well, not everything started from that.
Course.
I'm like, I need a snare sound, you know?
Yeah.
And then I for this EP in particular, I'm really gravitating towards like crunchy sounds, airy sounds, like crystal-like sounds. So you can start with a normal snare drum, which is pretty basic. You know what that sounds like. And then to just kind of get what I had in my mind, you can find anything and just throw it on there until you get what you're looking for, which that was just one little piece. Yeah.
Whenever you like talking about like tones and music, and then going into that because for me it's interesting because I don't know it, but what is like a particular tone you want or you think you have with your music, or do you go based on like, okay, this is the mood of the song, or this is the lyric that I have for it? Do you first, when you have where you write a song, you also do songwriting too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So whenever you do songwriting, do you first have the lyric and then the tone, or do you have the tone and then the lyric?
I usually have the tone and the lyric.
Okay.
Because secretly, this is not a secret, I don't like writing lyrics.
No.
I don't like writing lyrics. I don't like it. I'm a producer first. I mean, I love making sounds. And then I'm like, okay, well, I have all these beats. And they need words, so then I'll write the words.
It's kind of like in video, you have all this B-roll, now you gotta like put a 10-minute video together from hundreds of clips.
Yeah, it's daunting when you look at it. You're like, oh.
Like whenever you have the note, right? How like say in a specific song, how many times do you revise the lyric of that song because of the tone?
Oh my gosh.
Because I want like so that way people can
times.
understand like really what goes on behind like your music and everything. Too many times.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I overthink lyrics a lot, and I want to be unique and special, but I also want to share like a core human truth. And there's only so unique you can get with it. And I'm like, well, I'll be creative. That's how I'll do it. I don't know. I just overthink a lot. That's why I hate writing lyrics.
Yeah. Whenever, and this, not talking more like in the mental health, because we're going to talk about that later. But say, for example, for me, whenever it comes to catching a second breath after I feel like I hit a wall and I can't think. Sometimes I drink a Red Bull or I drink a beer, or I drink a Red Bull and a beer, or sometimes I go for a run and then come back or do something different. But like for you, what do you do whenever you hit like that wall and be like, oh man, I can't think anymore?
I go on a walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. If there's like a body of water somewhere, I'll go to the water and I'll walk around it.
That's a very good way to like cope with.
Thank you.
You know what? It's time to calm the juices down.
Well, it helps me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at like, have you have you read Rick Rubin's The Creative Act?
Mm-mm.
Okay, basically, it's this book about how to be more creative. And he's like, go outside and go to nature and look at the grass. Like, look at the grass. It's cool. And there's so much to look at. So that's what I do. And it helps a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like taking a second to slow down and like actually look at the world around you shows so many things you stopped noticing. And that's usually jogs me creatively or makes me feel inspired in some way.
I've never really thought about that as grass, because I like grass. I like cutting my grass.
Yeah.
And whenever I cut it, I feel like, oh man, it looks nice. house looks great. It looks amazing. But I never thought about it like, oh, when you look at it, there's so much going on. I mean, there's so many roots in the grass.
Yeah.
The color, sometimes the patch could be sick on one side and then they want like super green because the dog peed on it and this pee was acidic. It could be my dog. Whatever he's at. But that's cool. I'm glad you find a way to take a step back by walking. I think that's good. That's a healthy habit.
Yeah.
But if you have an unhealthy habit, it's okay. So with your music, especially with what you've experienced, what is something that you want to have as your mission, as your vision, so the audience can know? Because a lot of it, like I think now, as musicians, sometimes the vision is just for some musicians to create good music, but some actually do want to have a message. For you, what is that? Is it like a mix of both, or?
I just want to make music that feels really authentic to me. Like, I think we all have, I think we're all different people, right? And we all probably hear something different in our head all the time. And I really want to make sure that whatever is going on in here that's like special to me and unique to me, that I'm able to actually express that through the music. Which comes in a lot with the sound design. Like I said, it's like very crunchy. I love that. So that's my mission, is to be the most myself I can be.
And when you talk about like, to be more yourself, you're also talking about like past experiences you've lived, current experiences, a mix of that in your music.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's all based on my life and my thoughts.
Yeah. You did have a lot going on. I mean,
I did. A lot. I did have a lot going on.
A lot at a young age.
Yeah.
So, let's say at this moment in time, now that you're releasing your own music, you've done production, how do you feel like, catching that wave? How do you feel like, okay, like, you feel like you're doing what you want, or you feel like, man, I think I need to do more? Both.
I spent a lot of time over the last 3 years just learning how to make good music, and that took all my time and energy. And then this year I kind of discovered, holy shit, there's like another side to music, which is the visuals. And I can tell so much more of a story and show so much more about who I am through what things look like. And so that's why on this EP there's 2 music videos and like a visualizer and a live performance video. Like, I've had a lot of fun exploring more creative sides to myself, and I feel great, and I do want to do more. I want to keep going. Yeah.
That's always cool. Like the visual, because the visual part is
a
lot. Do you have a lot saying on it?
Do I have a lot of what?
Like saying on your visual, like for the music.
Of course I do.
You have to.
Of course I do. Yeah, I mean, all of it. I feel like the same way I'm trying to pull from my head, like exactly what I hear in my head in my music, I'm trying to pull exactly what I see in my head. And I produced the music videos, so I directed one of them. So I feel like I've gotten to be very, very intentional with what I've put together, and I feel really good about it.
That's good. I'm glad you say intentional.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're intentional, that's the difference maker.
I think so.
Because you can just say like, oh, I just wanted to do a good song and that's it. But no, you want it to be intentional. Like, hey, this is good music, but it's also like what's going on with me right now. So you're gonna get, what I'm saying, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So going into your discography. Did I say it right? Discography. All right. Going into that aspect, which singles or which songs have you done in the past, and then which music are you going to release this weekend? Because FYI, the reason why we're here is because she releases a pretty cool song. I got a chance to listen to it already, and it's pretty cool. And before we go into that, I want to ask your permission, because this year my goal was to, we talked a little about that earlier, but blend music in between the episodes. So every time we release a new episode, we want to insert a song from an independent artist that we've done work with in the past. So we'll be honored to have you be the first one. Otra Por Favor, debuting your song in our platform. Well, we're already going to debut it on Friday when it comes out, but have it here and be the first one that's getting played in that new format. So if you're okay with that, we would love to do it here.
Like play it on the 14th?
Play it, play it on the next episode. The next time we record, I think it's going to be like in the 20-minute mark. We're going to be like, all right, this is a new song from Paxton Smith, and go check it out. And then, boom, we'll play it.
Oh, hell yeah, I love that.
Because we're going to do a little more radio, style of music.
Radio vibes.
So, yeah,
okay, I fuck with that. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. That'd be awesome.
Sweet. So we got our first one. Yes. Let me get with Rodrigo and text me. Good. All right. Yes. That's cool. It's cool. So thank you. See, Adriana, she beat you. Ha. I like fucking with Adriana a lot.
Okay.
So that's actually like a joke that he's gonna be the next one. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Adriana.
Sorry, Adriana. No, you should be like, no, Adriana, in your face.
Oh.
Look at the camera. There we go. All right. So enough about Otra. This is more about Paxton. What are the previous songs that you did in the past, and can you just give us a little more about a little Scott synopsis, a little more about it, like a little more context about them, and then we'll go into what the song you're gonna release.
Sure. Drown was the first song I ever came out with, and I don't like that song.
No.
Secretly, not secretly at all. I don't have secrets. I'm really an open book. I talk too much. So Drown was the first one to come out. That was the first song I ever produced, ever. And it sounds like it. And then I came out with Devious and Inside Out. And those were kind of their own little era. That was when I was learning how to make good music. And I love those songs. I think they're awesome. And they're both about the same guy. So grateful to be releasing new music. Moving on. Yay. So this new...
It's funny because 3 minutes, perfect. Because one of my friends yeah, man, when I was writing that song, I was playing so much guitar, I got carpal tunnel syndrome, and he started telling me everything that happened physically, but you were moving on next.
Yeah, moving on. Yeah, I mean, those songs, I haven't released a song in over a year, so it feels like this EP that I'm coming out with is my debut. It feels like the first thing I've ever done. That's how it feels. I know it's not the way that it is, but it's how it feels. But this new EP, it's called But I Love It. It's gonna have at least 5 songs, maybe more. Surprise. So this new EP is called But I Love It, and to me, it's all about my coming of age and growing up, and it starts with Belong Here, which is about my imposter syndrome as an activist, which was kind of the start of my coming of age, and the rest of the EP, I would say, is characterized by contradiction. All of it is contradiction, and that's part of growing up for me has been becoming more confused than I've ever been, and having all of these cyclical unresolved thoughts, and learning how to navigate the world and understanding that, wow, I have so many conflicting thoughts and emotions, and that is But I Love It. That's the EP, But I Love It. Take with that what you will. I love it. So that's the EP. This song Belong Here. Like I said, it's about the imposter syndrome of activism.
Nice. And, in what genre is this particular song, Belong Here?
Pop.
Okay.
Alternative pop.
Okay.
Electronic alternative pop. I don't know. How would you describe it?
Electronic alternative pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. Belong Here. You were able to put the visuals in as well.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to have a say in that. How was seeing your song in live person in a music video? This is the first one that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that for you? Because I'm pretty sure as an artist, they give you a whole different perspective. Because when you have the song, you release it, you know, you have the graphic, you can play the graphic, and you know, it's there, it's great. But when you have the visual part, like it has a completely different meaning.
Yeah, it feels really different. I don't know. I feel like before I started doing these music videos, it kind of felt like I was just a kid in my bedroom making music by myself. And then seeing a music video, I mean, it looks good. It looks good. Let's be so real. It looks really good. Red Carrillo shot and directed it, and he's worked with fantastic artists like Fuerza Regida and like Tercer Elemento. And I don't know, just seeing it, you're just like, whoa, I'm an artist. I really did that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm an artist. I make music. It feels more real. And working on these visuals, like seeing some of the creative come to life, like literally what I see in my head, I'm like seeing myself in that picture, feels really gratifying. It feels so like full circle, whole heart moment, like wow.
You're alive.
I'm alive. And that's me. That's my brain. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Like it's cool how you say like it's you and it's your brain, because it is. I mean, when you're putting something together, you're gonna release a project like, you know, one music and then two music video. You're basically sharing a part of you, like yourself, like inside, but also part of your brain.
Yeah.
And part of what goes through your mind.
Yeah, and how you experience things, and it's just this whole new world. Because like in music videos, you can really tell any side of the story that you want to tell in a way that would never come through with just one song's lyrics. And I feel like you can share so much more nuance behind that story. And so it feels good. It feels really good to see and do.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So with this song, can you talk a little bit on the visual part? Like what tones can the audience expect? Is it like, say visually, is it more like in the camera part, more cooler tone, more warmer, or more neutral? Also, do you make it super bright, you know, not as bright, when it comes to the light in the songs?
Mm-hmm.
How many takes, or how many, like say producing it from beginning to end, about how long did it take for it to to be finalized and ready?
It took a long time. Let's see. Well, I produced the video, like I did all the pre-production for the shoot in like 3 weeks, which was crazy because we have 6 dancers in the video, and it's not a small space. Like we did a lot. For my visual, like something that I have in mind with all of the stuff that's coming out is bright colors in a dark room. Mm-hmm. So there's like a lot of like bright blue and orange. Well, hey, look, bright blue and orange. It's these colors.
And it was right when the camera was looking at you, so yes.
Yeah. Yeah, bright colors in a dark room, so it's kind of like that. And I don't even know how to describe it. It's just dancing and a visual representation of imposter syndrome with like, there's like shadows in the back of the video when I'm standing alone to kind of illustrate that like my idea of these people is still here when I'm by myself. And there's another scene where there's like this photo backdrop wall that everybody comes and takes their picture at. And all of these girls are like picking at me and like looking at my clothes and kind of pushing me around and making these like nasty faces at me. And it just kind of represents like all of these internal stories that I told myself. I don't do that anymore. Yeah. I'm better now.
Yeah.
But I used to tell myself that like all of these people are thinking these things, and that's like the video. I think it represents exactly what I was trying to say.
That's good.
Yeah.
No punches holding back while you were doing it.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I'm glad you didn't like leave any punches in the back.
What?
I'm glad you didn't leave any punches in the back.
Yeah.
Put them all out there.
Yeah.
So going into the music video, going into like say the songs. It was a long process, and for you, how do you feel at this moment now that you're gonna release, or you feel like you're gonna re-debut you as an artist in a couple of days? Like, what's it going through your mind?
Yay! That's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's go. Finally.
Finally. How long did it take? Like, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I've been making music since I was 8,
Yeah.
you know? So my whole life. It's taken my whole life. And I waited a little bit to graduate college because attendance policies do fuck up your grades if you miss like 4 days. And I was like, no, I'm going to wait until I can do this. And then when it goes well, hopefully, then I won't have to worry about this thing all the time behind me, like kind of holding me back a little bit. So that's part of why it took so long. But my whole life to do this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm glad how you said I had to take care of this first in order for me to truly take care of this other part. Because whenever like I hear people talk about ideas, right? They want to start things, but they have something going on and they don't want to finish the project, and they start another project. Then it just becomes like a shit show.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was doing music the whole time in college. Like I was gigging and stuff, and I was obviously putting this EP together. Like we already shot the music videos for the EP. We already shot the performance video, the visualizers. Like I produced all of that and have been making the songs and doing the deals and obviously like reaching out to press and stuff. So I've been doing the work as a student. It's just coming out now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 6 days post-grad. Let's go.
Post-grad.
Yeah.
Making a statement.
Yeah.
You're not holding back.
It's time to go.
I know.
It's time.
I know. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, putting this together while you're in college and getting to release it 6 days after you graduate, that's pretty
good.
cool story to tell like
so
people.
Excited.
And so how many people were involved? Like who did you collaborate in this? Like, 'cause you mentioned someone earlier, and I want to remember his name, bro. Rec
Carrillo.
Rec Carrillo. Is he from Austin or is he from?
He's from LA.
LA. Okay.
Yeah.
He's done work with Versa Regina.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in your good hands.
He's a badass.
Very good hands.
I'm in great hands.
Yeah. How do you guys connect?
You know Par?
Par. Échale par. Un abrazote.
Par introduced us,
Okay.
and he was like, you should meet this person because you're about to go to LA. And I was like, okay. So I pulled up to the studio, and that's where I met Rark. And then Rark and I became like really good friends. Like we were on the phone yesterday.
Yeah.
So I talk to him all the time. And yeah. But hella people involved on this project. We also got Matt Wolak as the mixing engineer, and Matt just mixed for Kesha for one of her most recent releases, and 070 Shake. So he's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's so good at what he does, and it's been so nice working with him. And then for the music videos, like, so many people. There have been over 30 people involved in this project.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah.
That's production.
It's crazy, but I'm so blessed to be working with such incredible people and who believe in me and like what I'm doing and wanna find what I'm looking for with me. It's been awesome.
That's cool. Like,
yeah,
it's good when you do something and you're surrounded by people that know what they're doing, one, but then two, like
yeah.
you get to become friends with them, or you get to become
Yeah.
acquaintances. Because then it's not just it's a professional setting at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because of course everything has to be like top notch. But I think being able to do it with people that you appreciate and you have connection with, it helps.
It's way better.
Yeah.
It's way better being friends with your collaborators than like with strangers, for sure.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So like whenever I started all this, it was mainly like the photography part. I got to I think I was also blessed to do this with a lot of people that are, pretty good at things. They were giving pointers. And, but at the end of the day, I had my own, like, okay, this is the shot that I want to take, but I just need to, like, understand other people's point of view and perspective on how they do everything. So by the time I do this particular shot, then I already know, like, okay, this is Richie doing this song. So I feel like for you, it's sort of going to be, the same, where you have all these amazing people that help you put this together. But at the end of the day, like, it's you. It's your story. It's what you want. It's the good music you want to put out there.
Yeah.
That's great. That's good. That's good. And before we close, I wanted to ask you, like, mental health. We talk about it here a lot, especially, we usually leave it at the end, not because we forget about it, but just because I feel like sometimes with everything that we do, it's like talking about it. It's like, hey, what do you do to remain sane and take care of your mental health, especially as you have just finished school and you're also worked in this music, like in this EP. What do you do to take care of Paxton?
Yeah. I make music. I do what I love. This work is stressful and sometimes just stressful. I don't know what other way to put it, but after a long day of making music, I unwind by making more music. So just remembering to be creative and explore what you love, and always remember why you fell in love with it is just being creative and fucking around and making whatever you hear in your head, and not getting stuck on finishing a product. That's important. The other thing is I journal at night and in the mornings. It's a really simple journal. It takes a couple minutes, but I start every single morning by writing down 3 things I'm grateful for. Tomorrow, this will be on it. 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things that will make the day great, and 2 words of affirmation. And then at night, I write down 3 things that went really well during the day. And that way I start with like positivity and I end with positivity, like the great things that happened. Remembering that, like, hey, this day was actually pretty good, even if I had a negative experience.
Good. I've never had someone mention, like, I've had people talk about journaling, but I've never had someone talk, hey, I end the day positively and start the day positively.
Yeah.
I think and when it comes to doing something and thinking like positive, it's just like, oh, we have to think positive. It's a cliche, but it's more like, no, you actually mean it, because one, for you, and above everything, like, there's always a solution, I believe. But speaking that into your mind can also help.
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
when you're putting things together, because you can also do it the other way, where like you're always thinking about something wrong, and you're gonna be always every day in a shitty mood, and
Yeah.
So
that's kind of how I was before I started. I was producing the second music video for this, and that was hard. that was a challenge for me. And it was like I would start the day being stressed and like thinking about everything people needed from me, and then at the end of the day I'd be like, this fell through and this fell through, and I need to figure this out, and it's still not figured out. And it's like I actually had to force myself when I started journaling to be like, hey, shut up, bro. Like, shut up, stop.
Yeah.
We're writing down 3 positive things. And it would be like, no, but this, no, we're doing 3 positive things. And it was almost like retraining myself how to think before I went to bed and when I woke up. And it makes a huge difference in my life. So
that's good. That's good. Is this something like, where did you learn this? Like, did you learn it from somebody? Or is it something you came up with just growing up?
I got this journal in a goodie bag once, and it was like the 5-minute journal. I think that's what it's called. And it literally every single page just has those prompts on it. And I just started filling it out every day.
And then from there it became your lifestyle.
My lifestyle. If you can call it that. It is true to the name. 5-minute journal total for the day.
In the journal.
Takes like 5 minutes total.
You don't have to write like 100-page essay.
No, bro. They give you like this much space to write down each
so now
thing.
you have to be creative.
You have to put it in like 2 or like 5 words maximum. Yeah. Like, this is what I'm grateful for. My friends, the burger that I ate, and the plants over there. And that's all you can write. And it's great. It
doesn't give you the space to write anything wrong or anything that went bad.
That's true as well. You only have a couple words, so you better choose the words that mean the most to you.
That's great. Great. I think over time it also helps you be assertive. Like, all right, hey, no matter what goes wrong, this is the plan. Mm-hmm. Man, that's cool. Like, I like seeing a lot. That's cool because it is cool. Like,
yeah.
One last thing that I have and that I wanted to ask you is, so for the person that listens to Belong Here, what is something that you, besides the good music, what is something like you want them to take from the song or from your EP? Like, what is something that you want them to keep, like, for them?
Yeah, Belong Here. Well, I guess let me start with like one of the things that inspired one of the lyrics in there. Mm-hmm. There's this TV show, and they open up the episode by saying, the past is just a story that you tell yourself. And I found that to be like so profound. And to me, that's the heart of Belong Here and the imposter syndrome, is that like all of these things that you're thinking or feeling is just a story that you are telling yourself, and it doesn't necessarily reflect reality. So I guess I hope that when people are listening to the song, one, I hope they feel seen, but also when they hear that lyric in there, I hope they can also tell themselves like, hey, all of these feelings I'm feeling, it's just what I'm telling myself right now. And acknowledging that that's just your internal narrative is really powerful, because that's when you can kind of move past the fact, knowing that this probably isn't true. Yeah. Man,
that's cool. So check it out. Check out Belong Here. It comes out on
May 16th.
Any particular time or midnight night of May 16th?
There is a particular time. I have forgotten. But it comes out May 16th, so
nice.
In the morning.
Okay.
Like 9 a.m. or something. Around there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll be, sharing the link, sharing everything that's available. Yay. So, we can amplify. Yay. Because it's a very good song. Paxton, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. And how can people reach out to you if they want you to come perform live on the show, or they just want to, reach out to you to talk about music, not something else? How can they, just check out your music and check out your socials?
DM me on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get in contact with me. DM me on Instagram.
And your Instagram is?
Paxton A. Smith.
Paxton A. Smith.
My middle name's Ashley.
Ashley.
A. Smith.
Do you like when people call you Ashley? Or just, no?
My name is Paxton. You can call me Pax.
Pax.
Yeah.
Pax.
Yeah.
Well, once again, it's an honor to have you here. And we'll for sure play the song here whenever it's out. But yeah, check out Otra X Favor on all platforms. And also, we'll be at Cine Las Americas this weekend. We already shared that this week, but just to remind you guys, so check it out. Check out the conferences, and also we have some pretty cool stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. Also, this weekend is going to be the first article that we released. I'm not going to tell you the name of who's going to be coming out. You're going to see it when it drops, but it's going to be amazing. Other than that, we hear you guys. Mucho amor, los quiero. And there's this one best team in Mexico called El América. So, arriba el América.
Arriba la América?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like America's this like team in the background. It's like the best in the world.
Oh, okay.
They did a 3P and they're about to do a 4P. They're amazing.
Okay.
And a lot of people hate them for it.
Oh.
Well, it's very instigating too.
Okay.
All right. Adios.
Adios.